Here we go. This is a very interesting one. Our minions player is proxying Sturm and Drang. So, that Totem Hunter, which is also the mini crate version Totem Hunter, she looks like a predator. It's so freaking awesome. Some of the mini crate models are spectacular. Yeah, that's Sturm and Drang. That is actually a Dracodile, which is attached to Mire, which is the little frog toad dude way back there. And yeah, then we got some Ninja Pig, Rorsh and Brine, and then we got some Star-Crossed, Eye and Snapjaw. And then, yeah, just stuff. And stuff. So, if you're like most people, you've probably never seen Sturm and Drang on the table. I never have. This is my first experience with them. So, I'm going to take this video and we're going to talk about them and talk about playing into something you're unfamiliar with. My Ron list, I have to know what their stuff does, all of it. No surprises. Otherwise, something can stop me on a key assassination run that I didn't expect, like a counter charge or you name it. There's all kinds of little things that can screw up a Ron assassination run, so I absolutely have to know every little thing about them. When I go up against a list that I've never played before, it's good. I have a fallback plan, a fallback list where I can feel them out, play cautiously, play aggressively, just utter flexibility. And that is completely Vyros too. That is his defining characteristic, is he is a very, very, very flexible list. So going into this, I think I went first and I got decently up the board, and then he came up the board a little bit farther. I quickly realized when we started talking threat ranges that TK, even though he's not TKing my models because he doesn't have any arc nodes, is one hell of a spell. Because Rorsh and Brine Ninja Pigs with diversionary tactics moving 5 inches and then charging and then TK, or TK, somewhere in that mix, they're threatening 16 inches. There's just I don't like it. They can create rough terrain. They've got the TK little proxy thing over here. There's all kinds of weird things that can happen. I really don't like all the little things this list can do. Polarity Shield is on the Dracodile. Strum. So basically, to sum up Sturm and Drang, there's 2 mines. You can at the very beginning of your turn, Sturm and Drang, that player chooses which mine is active. The Strum mind has Field Marshal Shield Guard and has a really good set of spells. It's a really good set of upkeep spells too. It has Polarity Shield, has Vision, has TK. Those are fantastic spells. Polarity Shield means you can't be charged and it goes on model unit. Vision means you ignore an attack. You just choose to ignore an attack roll. Vision is fantastic for Lessers. Lessers love freaking Vision. Puts it on Mire because Mire's controlling a Dracodile. He can now somewhat safely, with a couple of transfers and Vision, safely control and keep his Lesser Warlocks safe. Dracodile has Polarity Shield because that makes sense, which, I mean, it's really good. But that's Strum. When you switch over to Drang, you get Field Marshal Overtake instead of Field Marshal Shield Guard. And then Drang is physically more powerful, and he also has a spell that's cost 3 and everything. All War Beasts, all models get Pathfinder on the charge and charge for free. Drang is more offensive, but he loses his ability to upkeep spells because he's just so thoughtless. It's a really cool model, actually. It's a pretty cool model, pretty cool idea behind it. Their feat is you can't allocate focus to anything in Sturm and Drang's control range of 14. And you can't read Fury or you can't read Fury in Sturm and Drang's control range. I might be messing that one up. I'm not a Hordes player, so I just ignored it and only looked at how it affects Warmachine. However, you can't allocate focus, but you can power up and you can do empower. So more or less, it does not affect me at all. But say someone like 9 Slayers, which is a concept of this list, because Slayers hate being turned around. They hate Polarity Shield and all those other things. Not being able to allocate focus to all your Slayers, what Sturm and Drang can do is wait for what's his butt, Gaspy 3 to pop feet, and then they can pop their feet. And when Gaspy 3 has all that focus from all the lessers and all the spells and all the Fury spending, he's not going to be able to allocate it to any of his Warjacks. And that's just cool. There's all kinds of little weird hidden things with lists like this that you just don't understand until you play them and figure out how it all works. So this is pretty exciting, pretty cool. We're both in the mindset. We're both into this game. Like, hey, let's figure out what this caster does. Let's trial by fire at it. Let's figure out what we like in the list, what we don't like. And yeah, now we can actually get on to the game. This again. Okay, so I'm going to back up here. Looking at this, looking at all the things he can do, I think one of the main tactics people are going to do when they're faced with a Dracodile that they can't charge, and Ninja Pig going everywhere and suing and coming back, and TK and all these effects that are really, really good, and also clouds from Mire, they're probably going to be looking at jamming out part of his army, usually armor spam, because there's not a large volume of attacks. Dracodile's amazing. But force some primals, take away their tools. And so that's what we're going to simulate here. I'm going to do a controlled jam. That Warhog is within 1 inch of the house. So Lanyssa is going to move over to the left and get an angle on it that isn't being blocked by the house, so that way it doesn't have cover. She rolls the 5 that she needed. That's exactly what she needed to hit. Good job. It's the first time, I think, ever that maybe I've hit a hunter's mark once with Lanyssa, but she hits the hunter's mark. That was pretty key to the plan. I was not going to send my Griffins in without that hunter's mark. Griffins get fully loaded with focus allocation from Arcanist, and they both get concentrated power, and they both go in and they both kill the Warhog. After this, Griffin right here walks around this building and smacks Alten Ashley to build up some focus. So that's nice. Pulling a Warhog, it really limits his retaliation. Getting in the face of Ninja Pig means that I pretty much know where Ninja Pig's going to be. He has to deal with those 2 Griffins, because otherwise they're going to walk over and kill Sturm and Drang. Like, there's nothing over there to deal with those 2 Griffins. So I feel confident and safe. I know where Ninja Pig is going to be. So that is taken care of. Over here on this side of the board, also a turn gets skipped here. I run over and engage Dracodile with the Gorgon with the idea of forcing a TK. And Imperitus hides behind that forest and is ready to come out with feet movements, and Discordia hides behind the house to try and bait Dracodile. And this is what that looks like. Now, my feet is really, really, really rude. Also, there was a turn skipped here, but this is more or less where we're at. My feed is really, really good in this situation because there's a lot of order of activation issues he has. There's a clear path from the overtaking Rorsh to Vyros. However, my feed is going to mess that up. If that Gorgon is force locking the Dracodile, so he can TK it away. But then if he kills anything else, the Gorgon's just going to move right back and force lock it again. He wants to do the assault shot with the Dracodile, but if he does that and he kills any Arcanists, then I'll take Discordia and move it out of his melee range. And, he's just got his charge attack. His charge attack is going to be boosted anyways, so Discordia taking a free strike that's boosted is the same thing as taking a charge attack, so he just won't kill Discordia, and then I will get basically a free Dracodile. There's all kinds of weird things like that he has to take into consideration here when he's trying to do this assassination run. Also, that other Arcanist is within 3 of the zone, so if he does hit the Arcanist that's in that zone, another Arcanist is just going to step up and take its place. And also, he has to be careful of when he's doing that if he wants to score that zone. There's a whole bunch of layers of bait and tricks here. And also, at some point, Sturm and Drang are going to want to go first to TK things around and get the board set up for whatever they want to do. That means Imperitus is going to be able to come out of hiding as soon as the Dracodile moves. As soon as the Dracodile moves, Imperitus can start using feet movements to get around behind the Dracodile and make it to Sturm and Drang. And that's that's going to create a lot of problems as well. So there's a lot of counterplay going on here. It's a huge clock killer for him. It's a lot to think about. And more or less, he tries to do things with the assassination run, and then it just keeps getting blocked. Like I move a Griffon to block him, so he ends up killing the Griffons over here, kind of like what I wanted him to do and expected him to do. He gets smart and TKs the Gorgon out of control range of Vyros, so Vyros can't put it back. That's how he solves that problem. Dracodile goes on Discordia, does not assault shot. And then he beats up on Discordia a whole bunch, and on his last hit, one of his seconds to last hits, but he decides he gets the crit smite on Discordia, and so he has it smite into Vyros, and that was pretty cool because it killed a whole bunch of Arcanists in the same move, and it knocked down Vyros, so Vyros can no longer move around, and it got some of my focus out of the way, and he popped feet, so that's less focus I can hand out. But yeah, basically just more or less some models died, and I got a position around, and I didn't get the ideal setup I want. But he didn't kill very many models, is the thing. So, also, this is incorrect. The Feralgeist, we actually replayed and moved and put base to base with Snapjaw over here, so that when he frenzies into the Feralgeist, who's incorporeal, and he can't hurt. So my turn. There's a Griffon back here behind this wall. He beats on the Dracodile to build synergy, doesn't do any damage. This Gorgon over here walks over, beats on the Dracodile, does a little bit of damage. And then this other Gorgon goes in there and beats on the Dracodile and does a whole bunch of damage. Vyros 2 and this Griffon kill Rorsh pretty easily with a little bit of concentrator and power and focus. Imperitus goes in and kills the Dracodile to the box, and there is nothing left over here that can do damage. Feralgeist has an ability called Spirit Bind. It does not come up very often, but it's super cool when it does. It was actually one of the concepts of this list. The Feralgeist goes away. It just disappears from the game. I can't remember if it's boxed, removed from play, or what. And the Dracodile comes back to life. It is no longer attached to any Warlock. It cannot be forced. It cannot do anything, and it gives up its activation that turn. However, it came back on my turn. So then it went to his turn, and so now it has one damage box removed from each thing, and it has 4 initial attacks. A Dracodile has 4 initial attacks. It can't spend any fury or generate any fury, but it has 4 initial attacks. So it uses those 4 initial attacks to beat on Imperitus. Doesn't kill him, but does some good damage. And he primals it because why not? Like seriously. Yeah. And Rorsh shoots some of the Arcanists over here, and they're going to finally score that zone. Battle Boar goes in, beats on the Griffon. This other Battle Boar goes in after doing the primal and beats on a Gorgon. No. Yeah, this is where we are. Yeah. Oh, and when I killed that Feralgeist, here's the other funny thing. When that Feralgeist went away from the Dracodile, it was the closest model to Snapjaw. So now Snapjaw, when he frenzies into my Griffon, because I thought he was going to frenzy into the Feralgeist. Hilarious, right? Yeah, that was cool. That was funny how that worked out. But more or less, things are going pretty well for me. My turn, after all that happens, Vyros charges and kills the Dracodile, and then Imperitus goes in and basically kills all of the lessers. He kills Wrong Eye, he kills Mire, he kills the Battle Boar, and he kills that little toad thing that has 2 heads and does 2 attacks. And yeah, I just beat on some more stuff, and I kill some more stuff, and I keep Vyros safe, and I start scoring things. Finally. And then this... Oh, no, wait. Oh, did I go... What the heck is happening here? Yep, here's where that is. Oh, and I got greedy, and I didn't use this Griffon over here to build synergy, and Imperitus went in with only a 2 synergy. So this Griffon walked over here and beat the crap out of Sturm and Drang. Now, he has almost nothing left at this point. He has Rorsh... Sorry about that. He has Rorsh, and he has Sturm and Drang. So he can't see a way to win on scenario since I'm doing pretty well on scenario and I just have more board. And it's only turn 4, so he can't go out to turns. So he concocts a desperate assassination plan where the Soul Slave TKs the Griffon. And then Sturm and Drang come up, and it's in, I believe, Drang's version, who has Obliteration as a spell, and does a boosted Obliteration and dice go hot, and Vyros is on a 3 camp, and I think it does like 6 damage to him or something like that. It was like 5/5/4 or something like that for a dice roll. Then Rorsh comes up and shoots him twice. He is out of shield guard range of that Griffon, just barely, which is perfect. And each one of those each one of those rolls, he hard rolls the, I think it was a 9 that he needed to hit Vyros on one of them so that he could boost damage because he calculated out that was the only way it would happen. He did hit the 9, and he boosted damage. He rolled like a 6/5/4, and his other one was a 6/5/5, or really, really good dice rolls. I can't remember exactly what they were, but they were, in that top small percentage of dice rolls. I had a shave for each of them, and Vyros 2 is left on 5 boxes. Then a Griffon walks up and kills Sturm and Drang. But I gotta hand it to him. That was the best way to make something out of nothing. I don't know how much. I mean, if he had rolled 6/6/6 for all 3 dice rolls, he probably could have made up those last 5 boxes on Vyros too. But I mean, it's an extremely slim chance. But you know what? He went for it. He saw a thing. He logically and calculated his best odds of winning. It was extremely low, and he went for it. And no complaints there. I mean, good for him. Most people quit at that point, but it could have happened. It's better than 0. It is better than an absolute 0. Not by much, but it is. It was also exciting seeing all those dice rolls and sweating a little bit, thinking I had the game. And I would encourage you guys to play like that as well, and not to just concede games early, because I mean, stuff happens. Dice happens. Really, really cool things happen. I think that's it. Oh yeah. This is the final moment. And then that Griffon walks over and hoses him. And that's it. Ooh, this will be next time. Be excited. Thank you for watching.